Today, I want to talk about distraction and how that affects how we create and manifest. Really, how it's a clever trick of the subconscious, and it's also a clever trick that's used in many ways in our country and in many countries in society in order to get people to recognize their own power. And when it comes to the subconscious, the reason why the subconscious distracts you is to get you to stay in your old frequency, just because it's designed like a program, like a computer, to keep you where you programmed it. But before we get started, welcome to Master of Polarity. My name is Missy. I am a coach. I am a mystic. I'm an intuitive. I'm many things. I love to study and know everything about energy in the world we can't see, because I truly believe it creates the world that we can see. So I'm here to help you understand it better. If you would like some help on your journey of manifestation, I offer one-on-one coaching, and I will leave that information down below in the description box, okay? So let's talk about distraction, okay? So first of all, distraction is a very, very, very clever trick, right? If you can distract somebody, you can oftentimes get them to do what you want them to do because you distracted them. And how do you distract them is you play on their emotions, right? You trigger them somehow emotionally, or you induce fear in some way. And if you look around on the news, where we live, people are afraid everywhere, right? Because it's so easy. If you turn the TV on, you get on social media, everywhere somebody's talking about something that's happening. And so it's just really easy to be distracted by fear. And if you can be distracted enough by fear, then you can forget that you actually have your own power and you are your own God. You are actually the all. And I think it's so important, especially in a time like this, where some people appear to have more limitations, quote unquote, in 3D. You exercise your power. You really get to know your own power, okay? And you don't pay so much attention to what's going on around you. And you really get to know who you are. Because things are getting weird, but you know what's even cooler? Is that as weird as things are getting, they're even going to get more magical. When you realize, when you recognize who you are. We don't just live in 3D. 3D is just the screen of a projection of where your attention is focused. And the question is, are you focused on your vision? Are you focused on your world, what you're creating, what's most important to you? Or are you distracted by everything that's going on around you? Because you can, certainly there's enough information out there and enough going on where you could totally get immersed in everything that's going on around you and lose what's most important to you and what you're creating. And another year can go by and you'll find yourself in the same spot that you started off in, if not worse, right? And it goes back to that word, distraction, because if I'm over here creating my world and I would like you to be a part in my world and a pawn in my world and a puppet in my world, all I need to do is distract you enough and create enough fear to get you to be emotional, to forget who you are, what your purpose is, what your vision is for your life. And now you're doing what I want you to do for me, right? That's how this works. It's like, don't be mad at it. Study it. Understand how it works and then master it. Become a master. Don't be angry at the system. Look at the system. See how it works. And then master the system. And how do you do that? And excuse me, because I have a cough drop in. You do that, you master the system by understanding, first of all, that you are your own authority. You are the all, okay? If you haven't read the Kybalion yet, please do yourself a favor and read it. Okay, it's definitely worth the read. Okay, but first of all, just understand that you are the all, okay? You create your world. You need to know what your vision is. What kind of world do you want to live in? What do you want to have for your own individual life? Do not worry about your circumstances. Do not worry about your quote-unquote perceived limitations. Your power is not what you see around you, or your lack of power is not because of your circumstances. It's not because of man. Where you are most powerful is knowing that the universe is mental first. So everything that you see around you, you are only seeing because you are seeing it through your consciousness. Like Neuro Knowledge says, and if you haven't checked out Neuro Knowledge, who's on YouTube, he's amazing. But he says that reality is just frozen imagination. Everything you see around you was once imagination. So when you're focused on your distractions, or not your distractions, but the distractions of other people. And let me just tell you this, distraction isn't just through the media, okay? It's also through triggers. It's also through emotions. It's also through people that you care about, you know, that remind you of who you used to be, or that trigger you, or through shame or guilt, you know, any way that you can be distracted. Your subconscious will do anything to try to get you to stay at your frequency that it's used to being at, okay? But the beautiful thing is that your higher self will use that same circumstance to help you expand beyond your frequency. So the same thing that's a challenge, that same trigger is an opportunity to handle it different and to expand beyond it, which we will get into. We'll get into that in a whole nother video. But it's important to stay aware. And it's important to know that distraction causes weakness, and weakness can get you to forget what you're creating, and it can cause you to forget your own power. And that, my friend, is the whole point. That is the whole point, is to make you forget your power.